So guys, apparently some more plot details for the Batman 2021 have been revealed. As you guys know so far, the Batman is apparently meant to not really surround any comic book in particular. There was a lot of rumors going way back, considering Robert Pattinson, who is our new Batman, was going to be kind of formed around a year one comic, and Matthew Reeves since then has come out and said, nope, as much as I love that comic book, it's not going to be centered around that. Then a lot of people were saying it's kind of piping up to sound a bit like the Long Halloween storyline, which with everything we've heard so far, I do basically agree with. Like, out of any graphic novel they might be kind of taking inspiration from, it sounds like the Long Halloween. And with Daniel Richtman, sorry if I butchered that name, I'll leave his link down in the description below. He's quite a reliable scooper. As I always say though, take everything with a grain of salt, but I still want to keep you guys updated with any kind of new, somewhat leaning on the very side of reliable updates for the Batman 2021. But just before I get into those details, guys, go ahead and subscribe if you find yourself brand new here, because this is a place for Batman content, especially for like the updates on the movie, and check out some of my other videos on other related kind of DC content, if you will. But also give this video a like if you do go on to enjoy it, and I also have a Discord server where you can talk to me about all of this Batman news yourself if you just join that server invite down in the description below. So what I'm about to read out is the kind of extended scoop, if you will, from Daniel Richtman, kind of expanding upon the news that was already floating out there. And he says the Batman will explore a detective case. When people start dying in strange ways, Batman must go deep into the dark world of Gotham to find clues and solve the mystery or conspiracy connected to Gotham City's history and criminals. In the film, all of Batman's rogues gallery are already out there and active, similar to the comics and animated shows and movies. The film will have multiple villains, as they are all suspects. So if you guys have been keeping up to date with the Batman news so far, you may recognize quite a bit of that. It kind of solidifies it a little bit more that this rumor really does seem to be a tangible plot for the movie. But as a lot of you as Batman fans may realize already, it's not just familiar in terms of news that you may have heard before, but also mirroring kind of the Long Halloween storyline from the comic books. But as I said, and what Matthew Reeves has already said, they're not going to straight up adapt that. And just by going what Daniel says here, in the film, all of Batman's rogues gallery are already out there and active. So straight away, this can't really necessarily be a literal rip from the Long Halloween, because that has, you know, Harvey Dent in it before he is Two-Face, and it kind of goes into that origin. And I guess, you know, going by the villain news that we've already got, apparently Harvey Dent, amongst Penguin, Firefly, and all the others that you've already heard about, is going to be in the Batman 2021. But going by what we've just learned today, I guess he will already be Two-Face if all of the rogues gallery is out there. But it's pretty cool just to think in Matthew Reeves' universe, where they're exploring this younger Batman in his formative years. Quite literally, the Joker is already out there, apparently, according to this. You know, Harvey Dent as Two-Face, he's already been created. Firefly, Penguin, a lot of villains like that are more believable. But it's just interesting to think about other villains, for example. How was the Joker's run-in with Batman similar to that of a traditionalist kind of, as I know somebody's going to point out in the comments, there's no concrete origin for the Joker, but usually Batman has some kind of appearance, you know, in the comics in terms of his creation in one way or another. So I wonder if in his formative years before this movie, our Robert Pattinson Batman ran into the Joker, and it's still so confusing as to what the heck they're going to do with Jared Leto's Joker if this truly is a prequel to Batflick, if you know what I mean. So with all of that, I guess you just kind of have to put it down to, this Batflick version was just so young that of course he was different. Do you know what I mean? I guess that's what they're going to have to do if it's connected to the DCU, because I'm telling you, Robert Pattinson and Matthew Reeves isn't going to, you know, creatively really try and act like the Batfleck Bruce Wayne. And he does start off with saying the Batman will explore a detective case. This is a no-brainer, just in terms that we know Matthew Reeves wants to explore a more noir, detective-based Batman. How did he get the name or like the recognition of being the world's greatest detective? And with the plot being when people start dying in strange ways, Batman must go deep into the dark world of Gotham to find the clues and solve the mystery and conspiracy through going to the different, villains of the underworld. So this is probably how he will run into the Penguin. This is how he will go to Firefly, and they're all telling him maybe different things, as maybe more murders, befall different people throughout the movie. So he's going to be truly in a bit of a puzzle piece, in the sense of everybody's probably saying different things, and he's going to have to come down to it. I wouldn't be surprised if obviously it's a certain character in the movie interacting with Bruce or Batman turn out to be the killer. But as I said before, this does kind of sound very similar to the plotline of Halloween, and if they're not adapting that comic book storyline, but with what Daniel Richtman has said to us here, it does sound very familiar to that. So maybe, as much as what Matthew Reeves is saying, it is heavily relying on maybe an inspired version of that story, but then again tying in so many elements from others such as Year One. And if you guys aren't familiar with the rough synopsis or overview of The Long Halloween, it is set like after Year One, but like still very much so in Batman's formative years. In The Long Halloween, Batman is going after this mysterious killer known as Holiday. It features all of his rogues gallery, and as I mentioned earlier, it has the origin of Two-Face in it. So it's just really fascinating to think what they could be bringing to life in this movie. And I know some people, from just reading a lot of comments from my previous Batman 2021 various videos, some people saying this is way too many characters. However, with this actual storyline, even though it's not going to copy and paste The Long Halloween, I don't see a problem at all if you kind of mirror that story. It's such a compelling one with this kind of mysterious crime, and this is exactly what Matthew Reeves wants to achieve with Robert Pattinson's Batman, this noir detective-based storyline. You can do a 2.5-hour movie with the Penguin in it, Firefly, explore his early relationship with Catwoman. But due to the nature of the plot of this film, I think the film will do absolutely fine only briefly visiting certain characters, just given the fact that Batman is after a much bigger end game in the movie. For example, even though, as I keep saying, it isn't Long Halloween, as Daniel Richtman points out here, he's still investigating these strange deaths that are occurring in Gotham City. But since one of the other focal points of the movie is about exploring a Batman in his formative years, through him going to different villains like this and then being used as, obviously characters, but also tools for him to walk in there, him to kind of be a newbie in Gotham. Not quite a newbie, but, not quite Year One as well, but somewhere over here where you have a very experienced Batman over here. They can really use these characters extremely well throughout the duration of the plot to have run-ins with Bruce. So when he goes to the Penguin, he'll be against a lot of his goons. There will be an awesome Penguin scene. Then when he gets pointed by Penguin to maybe go down and check Firefly's territory out, he has a run-in with Firefly, and it shows the struggle of Bruce Wayne and Batman just basically bouncing between these villains whilst trying and being very pressured to find this mysterious killer. And that's why I have a lot of faith in this plotline, and I guess that's kind of my answer to people who are like, how are they going to explore all these characters? And so they don't necessarily need to go in depth. When you're introducing most of the rogues gallery in a plotline like this, it doesn't need to be, oh my god, they didn't have enough character development for Penguin. That's not what the movie was about. It's more point of view driven story of, squarely based off Batman's shoulders. And if you kind of get the angle they're going with there, I believe it makes perfect sense. And for me, the vision of this is truly a treat, with what I just explained of the Batman in his formative years bouncing between different villains. If anything, it's a very big treat because we get to see him interact and probably have fights and quarrels whilst investigating this case with basically all of his rogues gallery. I don't think the Joker will be really in this. I mean, as Daniel Richtman said, all of the rogues gallery are out there and active already. Maybe we'll get pointers to the Joker, but I don't necessarily think he will be one of the people, obviously, that he goes to visit. I think it would be those people that have already been rumoredly reported about being, Two-Face, Selina Kyle, which is another thing we get to see probably their first meeting, hopefully. That would be really cool. And then the Riddler. I mean, could you imagine the portion when he gets pointed to go to the Riddler and he has a run-in with him and we get a little cool, 15 to 25 minute segment of the movie where, we see the Batman have to go through a riddle or something with it. It just seems so good. I think this is actually a home run plot for a first movie that they can explore with a younger Bruce Wayne. But that is everything I think I've got to say in this video, guys. I just wanted to update you on the fact that, you know, Bruce Wayne exploring people dying in strange ways in Gotham City, so he has to go into the underworld and just go to different parts to his rogues gallery to explore this crime. You know, it seems a lot more tangible of a plot now, especially since it's getting verified by even more reliable scoopers such as Daniel Richtman. As I said, I'll leave his link down in the comments below if you want to check him out for yourself and maybe follow him on Twitter or something. But let me know if you're excited for this. Were you maybe apprehensive when you heard about this plotline? Because as I said, this has been echoed for quite a long time now that it will be very long Halloween based. But then you had a lot of people coming out saying, how are they going to do this? That's way too many characters. But maybe, as I just put it there, I believe it's truly a cocktail for extreme success. And then you can have these characters coming back for the second and third movie, since we know Matthew Reeves has a trilogy planned, but obviously you just have to kind of focus on the first one to begin with. But nevertheless, I'm sure you can tell I am very excited, and hearing more stuff like this, you know, turning out to apparently be true, it just gets me buzzing for this movie's story. It just sounds so exciting, and I can just see it in my head so clearly. So I guess I just want to hear your thoughts on that. If you want to follow me outside YouTube, guys, my links are in the description down below, to my Twitter, to my Discord server. If you want to support me a bit further and you really like my content, you can check out my Patreon page. But that is absolutely everything, so thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you, Bat Family, in the next video. Goodbye.